It's been 531 minutes since Juventus conceded a Champions League goal. Gigi Buffon is remarkable. He's an alien. He's an alien who actually is the unstoppable, no, he's the immovable object that the unstoppable force of Lionel Messi cannot seem to penetrate. Please don't take that sexually. Lionel Messi has not scored on Gigi Buffon, despite several attempts on goal, trying to, along with his Barcelona teammates. They were shut out by a resilient Juventus with a dominant defensive performance that puts PSG to shame, considering PSG travelled to the Nou Camp with a 4-0 advantage and were ripped limb from limb. The reason, I'm going to start by saying, look at the difference between Khedira's placement in this game and the placement of Verratti, Matuidi, and PSG's midfield in the last game. Khedira, yeah, he was doing his defensive duties. He was all over the park and he was making sure to put tackles in when he had to. But when he could, he was pushing his team forward, trying to get out, not sitting directly inside their own 18-yard box, which PSG did for, I would say, a good 80% of the game. So I told Jason this before. When Khedira was playing at home against Juventus, when he was playing at home, Juventus versus Barca, there was times when he was picking up the ball in and around Barcelona's 18-yard box on the edge of it because he was trying to push his line high and compress Barcelona's midfield, suffocating their space. And at the Nou Camp, that's a harder job to do. So, of course, he was going to concede more space. But him, and what I mean by him is a representative of the team as a whole, they didn't simply sit back and just weather the storm. They did that at times very well, but when they could, they sprung forward on counterattacks and actually looked like they could score more often than not going forward. I thought Higuain, his hold-up play was very good. I thought Mandzukic put in a great shift, Cuadrado as well. I just think that overall, they look so dominant comfortably at the back. Now, that being said, this is a very similar system to what Juventus had in place a few years back, where Barcelona beat them in the Champions League final. But this is a different Barcelona. They're lacking some options. I thought that far too often they were playing the ball in the air. I mean, aerial prowess is not something that you directly put next to Barcelona when it comes to Suarez, Neymar, and Messi. It's usually those intricate 1-2 passes moving in behind, but Juventus was snuffing those out. And when you play the ball in the air, when you get Bonucci, Chiellini, and then you got Barzagli coming on to shore up the defense towards the end, what are you expecting to happen there? These are dominant guys in the air. Buffon commands his area, very good at communication. I just thought they ran out of options and they were just kind of hoping that in the end something was going to fall to a Sergio Roberto like happened against PSG. So as expected, based on the stats, 65% possession to Barcelona, 19 shots. Juve still managed 12 shots on goal. And they had 4 shots on target. Barcelona had 1. 1 shot on target the whole game. And that just kind of speaks volumes to the fact that Juventus had a more efficient shots on goal ratio with lesser shots because they specifically wait and choose their options better. And I feel like, as I mentioned, they had the better of the chances. I thought Higuain could have scored, specifically the one in the first half, dinked in behind, could have done better. That would have been the game, set and match right there. So there's not much else to break down other than where do you put Gigi Buffon? I'm throwing this in for Jason, who's a huge fan of Buffon, but where do you put him in terms of all time? Because most people will give Manuel Neuer the accolades because he has a Champions League to his name, he has a World Cup, so does Buffon, and at the moment most people believe he's the best goalkeeper in the world. But Buffon, it's no coincidence that they have not conceded in, 5 Champions League matches, 500-odd minutes since November. In Serie A, they've only conceded, 2 or 3 goals? I guess it's some astounding statistics that you put next to a defence that have been together for years. Bonucci, Barzagli, Chiellini, Buffon. And even when you add the likes of Dani Alves as an attacking-minded fullback into that system, they are still so dominant defensively, and you cannot help but admire it. So take in the admiration, and we'll take you out with this. Here's a picture of Gigi Buffon sipping wine, celebrating the fact that he is undoubtedly one of the greatest goalkeepers we'll ever see. I have to give you a note on the other game, Monaco. Phenomenal job. The first leg was questionable because I didn't think the Dortmund should have went into that game, and there could still be an argument as to whether that kind of offset them from the goal, and they did an uphill task. But Monaco took care of business today. Mbappe is a phenomenal talent. He's really going to be someone to watch in the future, and I think that Monaco are going to have to really try to hold on to him. And they cruise through to the semis of the Champions League, 3-1. And who wants to face Monaco? None of them. None of them. want to face Monaco because they don't fear anyone. They put Man City to the sword. They put Borussia Dortmund, one of the most exciting attacking teams who bang goals in relentlessly, to the sword. I think that they're a team to look out for in this competition. Could be a dark horse. I'll give you another note. I won't be here to discuss the Champions League draw. As I mentioned, being a douche, going to Coachella, Jason Rubin will be here to break down the draw, and I will be sending my predictions from the road. And I wouldn't be surprised if Juventus get drawn against Atletico Madrid and Monaco get Real Madrid. And then what you will happen is what would be then a potential chance of it being the third out of the last 4 finals being the Madrid derby. What am I supposed to say at that? Nothing. Ciao.